Hello everybody, I'm Shamari Simmons and the creator of the Lil Shu webcomic strip, and today I wanted to kind of share some of my techniques of how I put my strip together. So usually it starts with this here, just jotting things down in my book, just coming up with ideas, and I just kind of just take notes or just ideas, or sometimes even write out scripts, just to generate some ideas and things of that nature, and then try to see if they're even doable or workable. I play around with them in my head if I can recall them without having to go through the book. I kind of feel like the idea is kind of strong and sticks with me, so that kind of gives me a determination if that's the route I need to go. And then I start, once I get my story out and written down, I kind of start going through the thumbnail process. And this is what one of my older processes, where I just go through and thumbnail things out, kind of get placement for word bubbles, and just trying to figure out how that would look, just really roughed out. And then from there I would start to kind of really clean up and get more of a refined look for the drawing of the panels, and kind of getting that. So I would measure that, and then I would draw them out, and then I would scan this, and then pretty much put it into the computer and start the digital phase, and then basically go through that process. So I go through the digital phase, and once I take it to the digital phase, it would come out like this. This is just a print, but once I go through Photoshop, Illustrator, and then pretty much do it that way. So I do a lot of my line work in Illustrator, or go through, I do my coloring work through Photoshop, and then put the final pieces together all through Illustrator, and with the word bubbles and the borders and the panels, and then save it out and upload it to the webcomic online. And then but now I've been doing a different approach, where now sometimes I kind of just start maybe with a drawing. Like, for example, here, this was just a drawing how I was feeling and thinking about things, and it was just going to be like a one-off, maybe like a poster, just a drawing for the day. And it kind of sparked the idea of a story that I was kind of trying to work out in my head, but just didn't know how to tell it. And to not disrupt the flow of the feeling or the energy that I had when I was making the story, I just kind of just said, you know what, I'm just going to keep it here in the sketchbook, instead of trying to work out the panels and the word bubbles, and just kind of figure all that out on through paper, just sketching those things out like I traditionally do or normally do. So then I just started thinking about the characters and how many panels in my head, and just kind of roughed out what that would look like, and just kind of sketched and just did some drawings, and said, okay, I think these drawings here would work to for the story. And then I just scanned these into the computer, and then took these over to Illustrator, and then did the line work for Illustrator. So I think that was really cool doing it that way. And so that's the approach I think I may go further on, because I'm starting to do that now on another strip as well, that I'm going to be putting out for Lil Shu. But this is what I did in Illustrator after I took the drawings from my sketchbook, and then I kind of just pretty much did everything, the panel process, the thumbnail, all done in Illustrator with the drawings, kind of placed things around with the sketches. And then I said, okay, this is where I wanted. Then I placed the word bubbles, and once I got the word bubbles and everything in place, I started doing the digital line work in Illustrator, and then I took that over to Photoshop and started coloring. So I like that approach, and I think I may try it again. And maybe make it my final approach, depending on I think it works out better, because I'm starting to do that now, where I know this will be a panel, and then I know this would be a panel, and then I can like scan these in and start working the background panel, for the backgrounds, if I decide to put backgrounds, depending on how I lay it out. But I can kind of rough it out, but just use these different sketches where I focus more on the drawing, and I can focus more on the personality or the expression that I'm trying to put across, without having to just think about the thumbnails. I think the thumbnails come in later, but just kind of taking these and just scanning them and breaking them down through individual drawings, and then I kind of have it roughed out in my head how I want to see placed on the strip, you know, just working out those different things. So it'll be more of a rough, just a rough thumbnail I can put together, but not focusing so much trying to create a final rendered version that I would have, like for example like this, where I'm lining up, measuring and everything, because it's really not that important once I get into the computer, because I can just create those panels digitally and make sure they're all aligned correctly, where I'm not using my ruler tool. If I was like traditionally going to do this, where I would ink it traditionally and everything would be on this paper, then it makes more sense to kind of go this route. But now everything is really going digital. I think I just focus more on the sketching and the drawing, and then apply that same technique more in the digital aspect, like here. But just wanted to share that, you know, share a bit of my process. You know, if you have any processes or any tips or anything that the way you do things, you know, out there, please leave some comments in the comment section. Also, you can see more of Lil Shu and more of my work in the links below. I'm on Instagram at IllyWorld. You know, where you can see all the links to. I'm on Webtoons. The Lil Shu and them webcomic is on Webtoons now, and everything. But thank you for your time, and again, you can subscribe or follow me on my different social media channels that's listed below in the comment sections, or in the description sections that I said earlier. So thank you and God bless.